Blessings and welcome, everyone. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast for August 16th through August 24th. We're going to take it through to the 24th for this week's reading. How are you? What a crazy, even beyond crazy, just very, very transformational week I know we're all having. If you're not having it, then blessings to you. Please write a book about it so we can all see how you got through it. No, we're doing fine. This is just the bumps along the road of transformation, along the road of spiritual growth. This is the learning curve to greater self-love, to the experience of greater self-love and greater light in this world. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you all of the new subscribers to this channel. If this video resonates with you as you go, give me the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not and hit the bell. That way you'll be informed when I release new videos or when I'm going to do my live stream. And you're always welcome to join me on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. for my live stream 4D Trinity. This week our theme is Dark Night of the Soul. We will be totally weaving in all of these DNA detox, transformational shifts we've been going through over these couple months with these eclipses. It has been Serio. Serio. Before we get all into it this week, though, I did want to thank you for all of your very, very generous donations. You can support my channel. If you go down to the Show More box, you will see a PayPal link where you can donate anything that your heart divinely guides you to this channel. I am so very grateful for it. And if you would like to receive a reading, drop me an email. My email contact is down below. But as well, I'm running a special. When you review one of my books at Amazon or iBooks or any other platform, you receive 30 for 30. That means you can get a 30-minute private reading with me for $30. If you're international, then we work it out through the PayPal. Contact me, and we'll figure that out. But you get it 30 for 30. I have two books, The NOWOSPHERE and The Higher Self, free to download. So you can download it, leave a review there, contact me, and book your session. So as you know, I always use the Osho Zen Tarot, and for several weeks, although we didn't do it last week, we've been pulling one overview card from James Wanless's Voyager deck, and we are guided to do that again this week. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to take a moment to call in our angels and our guides and take a breath. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you to our angels and our guides. I sign myself into the collective, the aggregate mean keynote of all those divine, beautiful participants, all of you that are guided to watch and be a part of this reading this week. I pray and I affirm that everything I share is of the highest order and is truly divinely gifted and guided for one and for all. Everyone who's guided to be a part of this reading, may we all get what we are guided here for. And so one card popped out. What is it? Interesting. I don't have my glasses on yet, but I think I can see that. Negativity. Okay, you know what? And that kind of speaks to a lot of where we're going. So 5 of crystals. Negativity. The mind has the cutting properties of the crystal. Your mental sharpness can cut down, slay, and negate. Like the broken crystal, your negative mind is defeatist and critical. You interpret events negatively, seeing tornadoes, valleys, floods, and quakes everywhere. Your negativity creates confusion, chaotic crystal, narrow-mindedness, dark crystal, dullness, opaque crystal, and delusion, fool's gold crystal. But the same negative mind gives you the very ability to slay your negativity. Using the positive side of negativity, say no to the self-defeating inner critic, and learn to say no when your discriminating intelligence appropriately judges so. Well, isn't that very interesting? Because over these last couple weeks, our highlight, right, has been our learning curve, our lesson, our teaching has been all about learning how to say yes, thank you, when you know it is something that you are happy to receive or to be a part of or to participate in, and learning how to say no thank you when you are invited to participate or explore or be a part of something that you know is not in full true alignment with your truth. And it's learning how to say, oh, no thank you, so that you stop honoring patterns of the past whereby you've just been on automatic pilot of saying yes when you really mean no. And that's the point. So it's learning to say yes when you really mean yes, no when you really mean no. And this card is saying now that we have been practicing those muscles, those synapses, learning how to strengthen those abilities. Now we're moving into this other realm where now we get to say no to our own mind. And this is power. This is you being a master of your time and space. And this, I know, is what has been dotting through the community. But these eclipses, and especially this last week or two, have been so, just dragging us through barbed wire. And I know it sounds awful. That's how I felt, though. I felt just so emotionally just exhausted. And it's so funny because remember a couple weeks ago I'm all, Mercury retrograde, no problem. Especially if you were born in a Mercury retrograde, you got this, no problem. Yes, if you were, fine, great. Yet, this was a Mercury retrograde, or we're still kind of in it, shadow, where we had all of these eclipses, where we had this last eclipse of 3 major eclipses, which have been mega life-changing, which we're just barely out of, which we're going to be feeling, expanding, and growing into the results of realization and all the changes, the healing, the prayers, everything that we've asked for over these last month and a half, 2-month period with these 3 eclipses will be coming to pass in us, to us, and through us in this next 6-month cycle. So this is huge. Again, we're going to be covering this in this week's 4D Trinity, my live stream. So hop on. If you're not a usual for 4DT, go check it out, especially this week's, because we are going to be talking about stress big time. And I think how this connects is the negativity card, right, being our overview card. And we haven't even pulled our main cards yet. But just saying no, right? Learning to say no, thank you. In the same way that you're learning to say no, thank you to people, places, and things outside of you that you know are not of service to your higher good. You get to, become that master of your mind space within and learn how to say no, thank you. To your own mind, to the tars, to the tar body, to the shadow aspects that live in fear, that live inside of us, that want to perpetuate the limiting notions that you have to live in stress, that something's wrong, that you need to fix it, that you need to control it, and that you can't just relax and find peace. You have to say no, no thank you to all of that. Come back to source, come back to yourself, so that you can manage your energy. And remember, your energy isn't just like your aura. I mean, it is. But it's your mind. Where's your mental continuum? Right? So that you can manage your emotions. And then when your mind and your emotions are like honored and managed, then your health, your physical body reflects that. And so we are learning to do that this week. Let's take a moment, another breath. Let's call in our angels and our guides, and we thank you, our animal totems, all those loved ones who hold space for us and guide the Most High in our lives. We are so very blessed. We thank you, we love you, and we welcome you to this reading today. I sign myself in to the keynote of all those viewers guided to be a part of the show this week. And I pray and I affirm that all the messages that channel through me, that come through, truly serve all of our path. You, me, everyone, all of us, for the highest good of all, that we may be bridging step by step the power, the potency of our truth, of our authenticity. We had one card fall. I can see it. It's change. It's the change card. Woo-hoo-hoo! You know, it is on. It is on. Okay, now we just had a whole bunch fall out, so I'm going to stop there. And the card, and let me just show you this, but look at what's on top here, the very last card. So you know we're going to have to use that completion card. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. Let's see. Let me just lay these cards out, and then we will get started. So right away though, what I do see is the whole top row. Man, wow, the whole top row are power players. So we remember last week we had silence, right? In and amongst all the crazy, create space for silence. Keep meditating. I know yesterday I had to get up. I have not been sleeping, and I've been working more than I usually would work in my regular schedule. More appointments, more work, more this, more that, less sleep, emotional crazy, eclipses, retrograde, all of that, and it's just been like the crazy show. Maybe you feel the same way. And yesterday, and I've been really good just meditating, finding that space, but yesterday it got on top of me before I knew it, and then my whole day, and I'm just like not, I mean, I flowed with it and it was fine, but I could feel stress. I could feel stress in there, wanting me. Stress wanted me. And the more that I kept making excuses that I didn't have a moment to be silent, that I didn't have a moment to connect, to take those few breaths, to meditate, to whatever, because I had to go to the next thing, then that was my truth. And I think it was probably 10 o'clock at night last night. I'm outside having a sagerette, and my higher self comes over me. And I'll tell this story in full and 4DT this week, and basically it told me, put down your drink. I was drinking a kombucha. Put down your sagerette, uncross your legs, place your hands up, Jhana Mudra, tip of first finger and thumb, close your eyes and receive this gift. And I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, okay. So I did it, and I sat for like no more than 3 minutes, but it was very conscious breath, and it was a deep, like a full-on shift in energy from where I was those couple minutes before. And I open my eyes, and I come back, and the higher self is like, there you go, that's all you needed. Go take your sagerette now, have your drink, your kombucha, whatever you're doing. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. And of course we know this, but we're constantly being reminded that it's as easy as that. Being able to pop in and pop out. Pop in, get what you need, get your peace, make your peace. Choose silence, go in and allow yourself to have that experience, and then pop back out, pop back into the world, right? You pop in, you pop out, you pop out, you pop in, but being able to create those synapses, create your own inner and outer elasticity of being, your malleability, so that when you're going crazy and everything is stress, and you're push, and you know you didn't take that 5 minutes, that 2 minutes, that 1 minute for yourself yet today, when higher self comes and taps you on the shoulder, you're out having a cigarette or a sagerette like me, and you are taking 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to have that, whether it's at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, whatever, and your higher self says, yeah, so now's a good moment. Close your eyes, uncross your legs, put that down, and come to me. And when you do it, it's like, and that's it. It's like the full surrender. Remember we were talking about this the other week in 4DT as well. It's like when your higher self says, when your Holy Spirit, when your voice for God within you, whatever name you give, source, love, light, says, here's some information, or here's some guidance, you heed the boat, you heed the call of that, and you honor it now, like ASAP, as soon as you can, within the time frame that the higher self, that the Holy Spirit, that voice for God is guiding it. And that's when the vortex of yourself is open. That's when that alchemy and that calibration of self is at its maximal potential for that shift of consciousness, for that shift of energy, for that shift from stress to peace. Are those moments, is that moment when higher self is like, tap, 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 psst, here's a plan, here's an idea. So we're learning to do that, and right in the middle is this change card. So, I mean, come on, this is exactly what we've been going through. Tomorrow, or yes, and tomorrow's 4D Trinity, this week's 4D Trinity, we're going to be talking about DNA detoxing. What? I know. Yes. All those old DNAs that we no longer use, that are no longer calibrated for where we are going, to greater love and to greater light, to this greater peace within ourselves. Mind, body, and emotions all those old DNAs that were associated with those old versions of ourselves that love stress, that love doing things in a way that do not create the fullest extent of potential for our peace. Those are dematerializing. Dematerializing. And the DNAs within us that are ready to shapeshift and change are changing, are waking up, and those other ones are going to sleep. And you know, this is a part of the change. It's that Rubik's Cube energy that I always talk about. It's the change, it's the click, 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 things clicking out of and back into alignment, but in a new way. In a new way that gives rise to transformation on every level of our being. And this transformation card is heavy duty. All these 3 cards I just showed you, silence, change, and transformation, are major arcanas, which mean they are the heavy hitters this week. So massive changes are en route. We are en route for change this week. And it's happening within you. I know, you probably are already feeling it. You're like, And we've been making changes. We've been so brave. We've been really owning up and stepping into who we are, as we've been learning to say, yes, please, more of that. That's me. I'm gonna stop being quiet. When someone says, would you like a piece of this cake? And you love that cake, you say, yes, please. And when someone says, you want a piece of this cake? And you're like, oh my God, I can't stand that kind of cake. Or I'm only a pie person, or but I don't want to hurt their feelings. So I'll just say yes. It's like, no, thank you. We're learning how to exercise those synapses. And this is what I feel is like helping to hasten this detoxification of these DNAs. Like the sharper, the quicker, the more like badass ninja warrior you can get with like, no, thank you, yes, thank you, no, thank you, yes, please. Like, the more you work at it, because sometimes we're a little fuzzy and those muscles aren't strong, and we're like, and each situation is kind of different, and depending on who it is and what time it is, and if we're hungry or not, or if we're if we had a good night's sleep, and these sorts of things. And so every situation is bringing us closer into sharpening, into strengthening those abilities to speak our truth. Yet, if we're not doing that, then we're not getting closer and closer and closer to our truth. We're getting further and further and further and further and further and further away. Hence, I'm further and further and further and further away. But as we negate, right, as we learn to say no to the mind, to say no to those tendencies, to those things, those habits, addictions, those patterns that bring us into greater negativity, bring us into greater stress, as we learn to say no, 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 and yes, 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 to those things that do the opposite, that generate peace, that generate freedom, that generate greater space and time, in this illusion of space and time, then it like helps to facilitate and create a divine alignment whereby your DNAs can do what they're doing, can do their shapeshift dance with greater ease. Right? It's when your DNAs are doing their dance, and you're not aligning your word and your heart, your truth and your word with your authentic, integral yes-no-ness, and those DNAs are changing to align with you authentically, yet your word is not matching your heart, then you're just going to stay in the illusion to a degree, right? You're going to stay in the illusion to the degree that you cannot meet yourself in truth. And so this is huge, because as we've been learning to meet ourselves in truth, this is like ba-boom, transformation in your relationships, in your finances, in your work, in your body, in your home, in your vision, in your heart, in your mental patterning. So this is massive. We are so not out of the woods yet with this gift of transformation. And I know it's been stressful for me. I don't know how it's been for you. Let me know in the comments how you've been doing. But ultimately, we've asked for this. I mean, we've been doing so much work. And remember, we went from being that larva, we were the caterpillar, the larva, we were in the cocoon, and then we were the butterfly, and we're like, woo, 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 learning to fly and flap our beautiful wings and take off and live this whole new life. And at the same time, though, now it's like the butterfly's like, oh, butterfly's got some responsibility. if I'm going to be butterflying all around here, like, butterfly's not still trying to be the caterpillar. Butterfly's not saying yes on caterpillar terms. Butterfly is saying yes on butterfly terms. Do you know what I mean? Butterfly, I think, might charge a little bit more for their services than the caterpillar did. Maybe. Do you know what I mean? Butterfly, you as the butterfly, have a greater tendency and a natural connection to extending, embodying, and being full of grace in a different way than the caterpillar version of you did. Yet at the same time, as the butterfly, it's all so cool and being like, ooh, I'm a butterfly, right? It's like, ooh, I'm a butterfly. Yet the butterfly has like a responsibility to be a butterfly, you know? And to be like, I'm going to be showing up like a butterfly. And a butterfly is like, almost represents this sovereign aspect of self, this very regal and royal, independent, loyal to one's truth, loyal to oneself, divinity, that is generous, that is graceful, that is kind, that is compassionate, but that is all of these things to oneself first, in alignment with divinity, in alignment with God, with source, with love, with light, with truth. So that which then extends is always in alignment with those qualities, or for the highest good of all. Now, it's interesting because some of us, so these two cards are together, the miser, she's holding on. She is holding on to her jewels, building a wall, holding her heart. And here is the dream. So some of us out here, this is a card of emotions, and this is a card of the earth. So this is like, some of us out here are having a very difficult time in being present with what is abiding here. And to the degree that you are having a difficult time, you are invited to be aware of all the ways and the places and the spaces that you are seeking outside of yourself for validation, because that is only perpetuating holding on. And what we're doing is we're letting go. This week we are letting go. We're saying no, thank you to negativity, saying no, thank you to negativity. And those parts of ourselves that are still in fantasy, that still think something outside of ourselves is going to make us happy, is going to bring us what it is we think we need in the world, is only serving to hold us back from our true power, from our true grace, and from really knowing our full capacity. Because this is all about you and me growing up and into the most expanded, maximal, beautiful versions of self that we are. All of those dreams, all of those goals. And it doesn't matter if you've, broken through on a 3D level, because remember, we're talking DNA level. So whatever changes and healings that are occurring are happening like on a deep, 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 deep subconscious level. I mean, so sub, we're talking like DNA, subatomic particle, quantum level of our being. And that's why they do take their lead from the words that we speak. And again, as those words, yes, thank you, no thank you, are in true alignment with your heart space, that's going to calibrate your DNA. It's going to expedite the calibration of your DNA, we'll say. It's going to make haste in the correct conditions, in the correct divine ways that truly serve your peace, your growth. But it's your ability, again, to let go and to start really showing up, and it begins within. And that's what this is speaking to, that it begins within. So notice where it is that you're looking outside of yourself for completion, for peace, and it's not to say that you can't look for help or ask for help or seek from outside of yourself for a divine alignment, for healing, for a massage. I mean, yes, we were all about that last week. We need that. We need that healing now. But it's like stepping out of yourself and allowing yourself to come forward to really dream bigger. Dream bigger. Dream bigger. I mean, like, bust out the dream. Like, bigger. Like, write out your dream. Like, write out your dream 3 times. See if you can squeeze it all onto one piece of paper. Write out one version, and then read it and be like, ooh, where can I expand and make it even more yes, please? Write out a second draft that is even more just wild. Use your imagination. Use your heart. Let your heart speak through your pen onto the paper. And then read that and see where you can be even more creative and more expansive, and write it out 3 times. And then read it to yourself. Put it in your journal or keep it by your bed and read it often. Keep it by your bed and read it often, because we are training ourselves. We are in training to be and embody the fuller versions of ourselves. In love, in light. You as a master of time and space. You as a master of you. Under grace. Full of allowing yourself to be served by the Most High love and light of the universe. And so it is. Yes. Okay, so what we have here on the bottom row is this beautiful energy. And I feel that what's happening here is we're being reminded. Remember last week and the week before, I think, we were with this realm of possibilities. For several weeks, we've been breaking through and going from being that coy little dove in a cage, living life in a very specific way, to jumping off that cage edge, discovering who we are in our full power as this eagle, and gaining an insight and possibilities into the possibilities that reside for us in our lives. But the thing here, the alchemy of that there, is that you don't know until you have the courage to jump from the edge of the cage, off of that little twig, the branch of the tree, until you have the courage to take that leap of faith into your transformation. You will not be able to see the multitude of possibilities that are there for you. So this is where we're at, is that if we haven't taken that leap, this week is saying, it's time now, it's time now. And a part of that leap could be letting go, right, of those things that you're afraid to share, of those things that you're afraid of how they're going to work out. This is really a lot about letting go of control, letting go, right? Because even when we're that safe little bird, that little turtle dove in the cage, and we're not jumping off, when we know it's time for a shift, for a healing, but we're not choosing to jump off the edge of the cage door, the little door, little bird cage, and we're like standing on the edge, and we're not going, but we know it's time to jump. And all of our friends have jumped. They're out there, and they're like, come on, it's great. And you're like, I don't know. That is this holding on. It's also control. We are trying to control our environment. And while, yes, our environment is alive and responds to our perception of it, there is this divine dance that is always upon us, that invites us to participate in a very conscious way with our environment, to play, to extend, to expand within that space, to embody our full wholeness, our full truth, not to hold back, not to wait for someone else to do it for us, but for us to do it for ourselves. And that's how we come into the fullness of possibilities. And now I know these eclipses and this last week has been a doozy. It has been so tough. Yet all of the tears, all of the exhaustion, all of the stress that you very possibly have been feeling And this shift is bringing us closer into our truth, is bringing us closer back to ourselves, back to peace. So to the extent that you have felt stressed out and that you've had a really tough time is to the extent that you're going to come back to your peace, that you're going to come back to your power, to your sense of clarity. And ultimately, it's already here. It's just that when stress is covering the lenses, mind, body, and emotions, that it's very difficult to have a sense that everything is all is well in all of creation and that everything is perfect. But ultimately, this is what this bottom row is telling us. All three cards, after possibility, go with the flow. It's saying, yeah, man, let go of control, because this is your truth. Divine abundance, like you already have it worked out. And this is what we're going to be talking about in 4D Trinity this week, is the difference between anticipation and expectation. Anticipation is, well, in the way that I'm going to be sharing about it, is this anticipating the worst, is anticipating and preparing for the worst thing to happen, which is the great cause of stress. Expectation is knowing that all is well in all of creation, is knowing that no matter what it looks like and how things are showing up right now, you expect the best outcome, the highest outcome for yourself and for everyone. I remember I've said it before, but one of these reverends that I love, Dave Evans, says, faith is acting like God is telling the truth. And I know if you have a knee-jerk reaction to God, when I say God is just simply love. God is the experience of love and only love. The feeling realization of unity, of oneness that comes when we experience love and only love. And so don't worry, I'm not trying to get all religious on you. Faith is acting like God is telling the truth, and so that's why chill out. You can relax. It's like learning. We keep learning, and we keep coming back. We keep going in and out of that stress, right, over these cycles of our lives where we feel like we need to organize the movement of the spheres. And the trick here, though, is that yes, there is organizing to do. Yes, there are moves to make, healing and things and patterns to shift, but it's on the inside that you get to do that. And so often we think it's trying to organize and orchestrate that on the outside that is going to give us what we want: peace, abundance, flow, etc. Yet ultimately it is calibrating that divine alignment within ourselves to create the correct conditions whereby the universe folds to us. My environment is alive and responds to my perception of it. If my perception is aligned with love, aligned with peace, there is abundance of all the best things and for the highest good of all, enough to go around through all time and space. If I'm aligned and rooted with love, with source, with light, then my environment is alive and responds to my perception of it. Then the subconscious, the unconscious way that I'm perceiving you, that I'm perceiving the stranger in the store, the line of people at the supermarket, post office, wherever it is going to be peace. It's going to be like, it's all good. It's all taken care of. I don't need to try to control the outside. And we know, yes, there's times you got to make that phone call and send that email and, show up in that 3D way, of course. Yet there's a balance. If it's always trying to force that, well, it's exhausting. It's distracting, and it keeps us away from the realm of possibilities. When you create the correct conditions within yourself for you to show up as your higher self through all time and space, wherever you go, trusting, knowing, because you've experienced it before. Because if you've ever had the experience where everything works out perfectly, then you know. You know the experience of faith. You know the experience of it having happened before, and then you get to rest in that space. Continually. We learn how to connect the dots whereby we can have a continuation of this going with the flow experience over and over and over again. Again, this is disbanding stress, getting grounded. You know, and it's so interesting because this week, as I was saying, I've been feeling a lot of stress. And I like to be in nature. I like to hike, lay on the grass, the rocks, spin the staff in nature. And often the ravens will come, rah, rah, and they'll call. And they'll let me know, like, okay, kid, time for a nature call. You know, we're waiting for you. We'll meet you up on the rocks in the vortex. And you know, I'm busy. I got to go. And the ravens will call again, you know, day after day after day. Do you know that they have not, today was the first day that they called for me. They gave me a break. Like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, they've just been like, and like I maybe saw one or two in the sky, and they're one of my animal totems, and I see them all the time. In this last 2 weeks, they're like, let's give her a break. She needs to just like lay in bed, recalibrate, cry, journal, you know, do all that stuff that I've been doing. I don't know, have you been doing that? I have been doing all of that stuff. And so I haven't been out into nature. I haven't been grounding and coming back to being ordinary, of just breathing and being without an agenda, without trying to control the outside, coming back to like just going with the flow, relaxing into the abundance of peace and of grounding and of beauty and of bliss that is already here without me trying to like decorate things from the outside to make it so. So how have I been grounding? Well, I haven't been out in nature as much. Through exercise, through yoga. This is a very, very powerful way to get into your body and to get grounded when you don't have time to go to the hike or like here in the desert, it is hot. It's 110, 15, 20, whatever degrees outside. And so it's not the same. You know, you got to kind of like prepare. If you're going to be going out there, you're like, woo, certain time of the day, you have to make sure you have the time. Anyway. There's different ways to get grounded. And one way is to be in your body, even if you can't go outside to earth. But ultimately, yoga, right? Your Pilates, your exercise, when done consciously, is fully grounding and reorienting you. It's bringing you into your body. It's grounding your energy into your breath, into your movement, into you knowing, you know, left and right and above and below, orienting your energies to come back to ordinariness. So that is a way that you can practice grounding and earthing even when you can't get out into earth. Breathing, your pranayama. But there is this sense of coming back to being ordinary, which is like a relief because I feel that we've been doing so much work, and really the celestial galactic federation of stars within us and all around us has been working. And it has been working in our favor. But we've been working as well, and it has been exhausting. I speak for myself. Exhausting. It's been stressful, man. But this is so beautiful because it's like, look, we're almost through it. We have transformation, silence, change. Change is upon us, right? And our main overview card, being mindful and recognizing where the mind wants to go into the patterns of negativity, of limit, and it's saying no thank you to that. So we've learned in these last couple weeks how to say yes please, no thank you, yes to that, no to that on the outside. And now we're going inside and we're learning how to be like, oh, look at that thought. Oh, look at that emotional reaction. Oh, look at that physical response that why am I creating so much stress? And it's about saying, oh, no thank you to that. Being an alchemist and on purpose changing that, getting into your body, getting out into nature, letting go of controlling people, places, things. Coming back to going with the flow, and our consciousness card is back. It was with us last week. We know this is all about meditating. Meditate, meditate, meditate. I'll put a link to my meditation playlist. I have over 250 videos here at this YouTube channel, and they're not all meditations, but I do have a meditation playlist, and I will be adding to it. And you can even go on SoundCloud. I have a SoundCloud account where you can just listen to the audio, but this is so important because we have been recalibrating, right? These DNAs have just been doing their own recalibration, and we've just been like, okay, recalibrate, drag through the coals. As this whole stuff has been going on. But ultimately, our Buddha nature, our higher self, has been here the whole time. Our God self, our higher self, your third eye, has been present with you the whole time. But have you been present with it? And so it's time, because look at, this is such a relief to me, this completion card to bring us to our ending. This is saying we are coming to a close now. We are coming to the ending of this chapter. Coming to the ending of this chapter. And so what we get to do, though, and the ending of the chapter is, what I'm getting is that it's the ending of this stress, this exhaustion, this like borderline depression, this soppy emotional mess that I've been. And I've talked to a lot of you. I don't talk to all of you, obviously, but a lot of you, have let me know that you're going through, like we're all going through, like these exact same things in our own way. And so this is like, oh, thank goodness. This week is like, okay, we're going to have this completion of all of this stuff that we've been going through. So now we can click into a different mode and start to now make moves, make waves with these possibilities, right? Because it's one thing where you're like, oh my God, there's all these possibilities. But if you're all funked up and your DNA is like still calibrating and you're kind of still twitching and you're still crying and you're not fully where the cycle has come full circle, then it's like you're like, okay, there's all these possibilities, but I can't stop crying. And so it's like the possibilities are here. They've always been here, right? They're right here. And now we're going to be coming back into a place of completion, to a place of change and transformation, where we can take advantage, where we can participate as the beautiful, abundant creature of all the highest faculties, notions, abilities, and blessings that you are. Bridge them into your body, through your voice, through your eyes, your hands, your every part of you. Create, co-create, manifest, and bring it to earth and share it with the world. That's a part of our completion this week. Coming back to the self. Meditate. Meditate. Even if it's like me, yesterday, all day I'm all like, I'm too busy and I'm stressed and I'm running around and I've been up since 7, running here and running there and I'm back to back to back to back and I don't have time and blah, blah, blah. And then finally at like 10:30 at night, I'm outside having my sageret and my higher self's like, tap, 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 now's a good time. And sometimes we think, but it's already nighttime. I'm going to be going to bed soon. Why should I even meditate? And the higher self is like, no. Remember, peace is accumulative. It's just like how when you eat a healthy diet, it's accumulative. It helps to take care of you over the long term. And just the same way, if you eat not healthy food over the long term, it's going to show, right? In your insides or your physical, something is going to happen. If it shifts that tipping point where your body's like, okay, I can't handle you just drinking vodka every day. You need to put protein in there, or whatever it is. In this way, we are coming into our fullness. We are coming into honoring ourselves. We're coming into meeting ourselves and allowing this completion to be done. And again, when your higher self taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, pull your plugs. Put yourself in a bubble of love and light. Detach. Come on, uncross your legs, close your eyes, put your cigarette down, put your drink down. We're going to take a few breaths here. I'm ready to share something with you and you're ready to receive it. And when you do, that's when that massive shift can happen. And that's what we're preparing for. We're making those little calibration steps this week for this completion and this change, this next change that's upon us. So again, thank you so very much. You can subscribe at my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com. Again, all of my links are down in the Show More box. Subscribe there and you will receive my monthly love letter and also a free copy of my mini book, The Higher Self. And remember, you can also go to Apple, iBooks, and to Amazon and download the NOWOSPHERE and The Higher Self. You can leave me a review there, and then you can let me know, hey, I left you a review on one of your books, or on my other books too. The Reiki Apprentice, How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration. You can leave me a review, and in that way access your 30-minute reading, distance 30-minute reading for $30. Thank you so much for all of your love, your support. I'm so very grateful. And again, thank you for donating to this channel. Follow me on Instagram. Thank you, all of the subscribers. I love and appreciate you. Namaste with so much love. Blessings, blessings, blessings.